Hello, ladies. Welcome to the show. Please introduce yourselves. Where are you located and what is your occupation? All right, where are you located and what is your occupation? And I'll start with you, Malia.
Hi, I'm Malia. I'm in Connecticut and I am an author.
Awesome. Kara.
Hi, my name is Kara. I'm from Brooklyn, and I'm an artist and the founder of Faith Over Fear Studio and Productions.
Awesome. And Angie.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I am an attorney. I'm here right now in Santa Monica, California, and I'm also the owner and founder of Awaken Retreats.
Awesome. All right, ladies. Awesome. Let's dive into these topics. A study finds that men are more likely to have financial secrets than women. Again, a study finds that men are more likely to have financial secrets than women.
How to find out if your husband is hiding assets. Determining if your husband is concealing assets can be complex. It often requires careful observation and investigation. Start by reviewing financial documents. Look for bank statements, tax returns, and investment accounts. Analyze any discrepancies in income or expenses. Next, pay attention to lifestyle changes. If your husband suddenly spends more money or has new possessions, it may warrant further inquiry. Observe any shifts in his behavior, such as secrecy or defensiveness about finances. Consider consulting with financial experts. Forensic accountants specialize in uncovering hidden assets. They can analyze financial records and identify unusual transactions. You may also want to gather evidence. Keep records of conversations and document any suspicious activities. This information can be useful if legal action becomes necessary. In some cases, hiring a private investigator may be beneficial. They can conduct background checks and asset searches to reveal hidden information. Finally, consult with a family law attorney. They can provide legal guidance and help you understand your rights. This step is crucial if you are considering divorce or separation.
Should spouses be honest about finances? Again, should spouses be honest about finances? And I will start with you, Malia. What are your thoughts on this?
I was hoping I'd be last on this one. Um, honestly, I like the idea of transparency in a relationship. Um, but I do think it would be wise if each partner had their own emergency funds. I think it would be wise if each partner had their own account. It doesn't have to be a secret, but I think each partner should have their own account, their own personal account. But I don't think it should be a secret. If they want it to be a secret, I don't think that's a big deal either. Um, but so the short answer is I would rather everything be on the table, but I do understand how that could potentially be dangerous if the relationship is abusive. So I guess I'm trying to say I think it depends on this type of relationship. If it's a healthy relationship, I don't see why there should be any secrets. But if there's abuse issues or anything like that, I think it would be wise if the partners had their own accounts on the side, maybe secretively if it's for protection. So for me, it depends on the health of the relationship. That's my answer.
All right. Thank you, Malia. Kara?
I think that honesty is the best policy in every relationship. And I feel like with being honest, you should also be transparent in your finances. But I do believe that you should also have separate accounts, like Malia was saying as well, just for emergency fund or God forbid something happens. I just feel like transparency is where it is in a relationship. I feel like nowadays men, unfortunately, don't do that. They have multiple accounts at times, and then they wind up, their wives wind up finding out about it, and it's just unfortunate.
All right. Thank you, Kara. And Angie.
I I agree with a lot of what was said, and I would maybe go a little further. A lot of what I've seen too is a lack of transparency, especially when someone is passed, and a lot of times it's the
Hello, my name is Laura. I am a certified health and well-being coach. I own Fitness Health Hope. My goal is to empower women to discover their very best self. Have a wonderful day.
the female spouse who isn't aware that there are other bank accounts or other assets, and then it becomes an issue, and access to that and how it can be divided up and who else might have rights to that. So, and I do think with personal experience too, having gone through a divorce, I tended, and I don't think I'm alone in this, I tended to let my spouse handle all of the bills and finances, and I was an attorney. I knew better. I was educated, but at the same time I came from mindset that okay, well, he's the provider even though I was working too, and I let him do that. And then when things didn't go well, I found out that I should have taken a more proactive approach, and I've learned a lot from that. And I would definitely suggest having your own bank accounts, for whatever reason, just so you can be more independent and secure, but also definitely honesty, transparency. And if things are being hidden, then there's a problem, and there's going to be a need to get to what is the source of the problem and why things are being hidden.
All right, thank you, Angie. All right, ladies, so we're just gonna move on to the next topic. The next topic up, over 40,000 people urge the International Olympic Committee to keep women's sports for women. Again, over 40,000 people urge the International Olympic Committee to keep women's sports for women.
A controversial bout at the center of a raging debate about biology and sports ends without a handshake.
From Chinese Taipei, Lin Yu-ting.
Taiwan's Lin Yu-ting, the clear winner, is one of two boxers under intense scrutiny at these games. She and Algeria's Imani Khalif, both allowed to compete here in Paris. Both have long boxed in the women's division, but not at last year's World Championships, disqualified by their boxing federation because of unspecified tests that showed elevated levels of testosterone, the International Olympic Committee says. Today's fight comes on the heels of this bout involving Algeria's Khalif, which lasted a mere 46 seconds. A few punches in, and Italy's Angela Carini abandoned the fight, sinking to the ground sobbing.
Could have been the match of my life, but I needed to protect my life as well. I couldn't bear the pain.
Carini later walked that teary post-fight comment back, saying she's sorry to her opponent, that she respects the decision that Khalif can fight in the Olympics. Still, the criticism is piling on. The IOC is defending their gender eligibility rules, calling the previous disqualification made by the International Boxing Association arbitrary. The IOC says the two boxers are women, full stop.
The Algerian boxer was born female, was registered female, lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, has a female passport. This is not a transgender case.
The IOC, while admitting this issue is a minefield, is trying to dial down the controversy, calling for a stop to the online abuse hurled at the two boxers, and there has been a lot of vitriol.
It pains those who advocate for athletes.
They're abiding by the rules, they're innocent, they have every right to compete, and we are seeing a form of witch hunt.
Whatever her inner turmoil, Khalif is defiant.
I'm here for the gold. I fight everybody.
Should women's sports only allow biological women to participate? Again, should women's sports only allow biological women to participate? And I would start with you, Malia. What's your opinion on this?
Short answer, yes. Sorry.
Okay, that was short and
It's
sweet.
because this is such a controversial issue, but I'm sorry. My answer is yes. I apologize. I have trans friends, so it's no offense, but that's just my honest opinion.
Okay, thank you. Kara?
I think this is a little bit of a difficult question to answer. I believe that everyone should be able to compete if they're a they, if they're a woman, because we're in the age of 2024. And I think that when it comes to boxing, because I boxed for almost 15 years of my life, it has to do with weight class. And I think that everyone should have equal opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Kara and Angie.
I would say that I think that it should be open, and I would suggest that if you're looking at different cases, there's been so much that's happened since especially 2020, with especially in the US with legislation and different cases and laws. It's definitely trending, I would say, more toward being accepting with certain limitations. Most of the things that have passed so far, they'll say, well, yes, but under this certain amount of testosterone, or most recently, legislation limits, okay, if you didn't hit puberty by this point. But I think the real question is going to be challenged by this upcoming Olympics, because no one's really had standing to challenge the regulations yet. Like if you look at the transgender swimmer Leah Thomas, she was a University of Pennsylvania swimmer. She tried to get into the Summer Olympics, and they didn't allow her because she, at the time, she lacked standing because she hadn't actually, I guess, made it to the Olympics. But I think this next Olympics, we will start to see those challenges, and we'll have to have decisions that are made. But I do think if you are able to compete in what you identify with, I think that, we should allow people to openly compete and be more open. And if someone challenges that during that and doesn't feel like if it wasn't fair, then I think there's a real big question more about discrimination and fairness and how we define that going forward.
All right. Thank you, Angie. And thank you, ladies. We're going to move on to the next topic. Some are skipping the holidays with family over politics. Again, some are skipping the holidays with family over politics. And then again, just going to share a clip.
America's great political divide is coming to the Thanksgiving table. Fox News personality Jesse Waters got a lot of attention recently when he said he won't be spending the holiday with his mom, a staunch Democrat.
I was not invited to my mother's house for Thanksgiving.
But comedian Bill Maher is calling for peace come Turkey Day.
Can we please not let politics up the holidays?
The View's Alyssa Farron Griffin agrees.
I tend to think mashed potatoes are the great equalizer. Like, you don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't set politics aside.
Liberal New Yorker Elsie Paulino is packing her bags not to go home for Thanksgiving. She's flying to Europe to avoid her family, who voted for Trump.
I love my family. I love my parents. Just because we have those opposing views doesn't mean that the love goes away. So yeah, I felt a lot of guilt, but at the end of the day, I had to protect my peace. I had to do what was best for me.
Texan Elizabeth Bradshaw is also skipping the traditional family holiday meal.
What are you going to do instead?
I'm going to go see Wicked with my other friend who's not going home to see her family.
We asked etiquette expert Thomas Farley, also known as Mr. Manners.
I think for a host who knows this is going to be a problem where tempers are going to flare, I would, at the outset, in the invitation ideally, say, this will be a politics-free gathering. Please respect my wishes on this viewpoint. And that way, nobody is locking horns.
In your opinion, should families avoid speaking to each other about politics? Again, in your opinion, should families avoid speaking to each other about politics? And this time I will start with you, Angie.
All right, thank you. I would say if you already know certain family members might trigger you a certain way to react, then maybe it might be better for your peace of mind to avoid that. And maybe if you don't know, then maybe just be a little more diplomatic and keep your emotions so that you don't automatically react. And I know that's not easy, but if you just feel like overwhelmed by even the thought of it, then for your own sake, I think you need to do what's best for you in that situation.
All right. Thank you, Angie. Kara?
I can share from personal experience. We have a family group chat, and we all said that we will not talk about politics at Thanksgiving or Christmas just because, it's our time together, it's our time to celebrate. And I think sometimes politics can really divide family members. But I agree with Angie. If you feel uncomfortable, then you should definitely do what's best for yourself. But for me, I feel like I'll always put my differences aside for the sake of family and the holidays because that's what's important. I have 15 nieces and nephews, and I would not want to not be able to see them because of that.
Okay. Thank you, Kara. And Malia?
I think if you know that speaking about politics is going to create chaos and cause everyone to get upset or some people to get upset in your family, it is just best to um avoid that topic. So yeah, I think it's best to avoid it if you know people are going to get upset. There are some families where they can agree to disagree. There are some families where disagreeing just is not an option. They want everyone to agree with them. So long story short, if it's going to cause chaos, which it does for most families, then it probably is just a good idea just to avoid the topic if you want to actually have a nice gathering. So.
All right. Thank you, Malia. And thank you, ladies. We're going to move on to the next topic. A Delaware County woman is seen on video abusing children at her home daycare. Again, a Delaware County woman is seen on video abusing children at her home daycare.
Delaware County daycare operator is pleading not guilty to new charges.
Rhonda Coombs is facing 17 charges, including kidnapping and child endangering. And in January, she was indicted on 4 charges.
10 TV's Tara Jabor joins us live now from the Delaware County Courthouse. And Tara, what did you see from Rhonda Coombs in court today?
Well, Rhonda Coombs is out on bond right now, so she showed up to the courtroom on her own. Now, we also saw several families of victims in this case. Now, these new charges come after the Delaware County Sheriff's Office went through almost 2 months of video from inside of Coombs' home. They say that Coombs is seen cruelly abusing children in that home. Now, prosecutors have said that evidence against Coombs is overwhelming. Today, the Delaware County prosecutor explained those new charges, saying the 14 counts of child endangerment for 14 different children at Coombs Daycare. The multiple instances where Coombs physically abused the children. Here's what he had to say about the 3 kidnapping charges.
The defendant now faces 3 counts of kidnapping for specific incidences. The allegations in those are where children were restrained in a high chair in a manner that we believe facilitated the assault.
Now, Rhonda Coombs is on house arrest right now. Her trial is expected to begin on June 11th.
Would you put your child in a home daycare? Again, would you put your child in a home daycare? And I will start with you, Malia. Would you put your child in a home daycare?
If they had a good reputation, I would. If they had a good reputation, I would, despite this horrible story. And if there was just a way, yeah, and obviously they had their certifications, they were CPR certified and all that. So, good reputation, have all their certifications. After I took a look around the place to see if it looks like it's clean and safe, I would. But yeah, I know it's scary though.
Thank you, Malia. Kara, same question for you.
I feel like I would have to do a lot of research before I put my child in a home daycare. I think in New York, it's a little bit different because there's so much going on. And now just seeing what's happening in Delaware, I want to be extra sure that the facility has kind workers and treats the children with respect.
Okay, and like, how would you like go about choosing the childcare provider? Like, what are some things that you would do?
I would definitely Google, absolutely, and check out the reviews because I know that Yelp is very resourceful when it comes to looking at businesses. And I would just check and make sure. And I would also go in person as well to just sort of see the facility, see if my child feels comfortable just going there, and then sort of meet the people that work there.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kara. And Angie, would you put your child in a home daycare?
I would be really hesitant to do so, but going on what Malia and Kara both said, if I were in that position, I would definitely want to do research and maybe spend some time at the place and just seeing how the kids reacted to the person who was supposed to be taking care of them and how they seemed around the person, and talking to other parents, I guess. But yeah, that would be a hard decision, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And something that I would do, honestly, I would do a background check on the staff. I would just get all the staff members' names and do a background check because sometimes I don't know how often whatever I don't even know how the daycare thing works. I don't have kids, to be honest, but I don't know if there's some type of reporting. I'm sure they have to report to someone. So whatever reporting agency that the daycare providers have to report to, I don't know how often they're checking these people or checking like I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know how often they're checking up on them to make sure nothing new pops up. But that's personally what I would do. But all right, thank you, ladies. So the last topic up, Mattel is sued over Wicked dolls that included a link to a porn website on the packaging. This story is very weird. I'll do that again. Mattel is sued over Wicked dolls that included a link to a porn website on the packaging. Alrighty, just going to share this last clip.
Version of Wicked starring Ariana Grande is expected to be a huge holiday hit with plenty of product tie-ins, but not the tie-in Mattel accidentally put on their Wicked-themed dolls. Stephen Fabian explains.
The highly anticipated blockbuster film Wicked is hitting a gigantic marketing oops. The epic musical fantasy film opens next week, but today we're learning there is something wickedly wrong with the packaging for its movie tie-in dolls. The film stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who channeled their on-screen characters at the LA premiere over the weekend. They also gave a thumbs up to the dolls being marketed in their likeness.
It's perfect.
The dolls look adorable, but look at the packaging. The website listed is wicked.com, which links to a pornographic website. It was supposed to show the film's official website, wickedmovie.com.
Toymaker Mattel is apologizing for a wicked typo. It's a porn website. Mattel blamed the mix-up on an unfortunate error.
The boxes are in stores nationwide. It's destined to be one of the hottest toys this Christmas.
I am so excited.
Today, Mattel is apologizing, saying it deeply regrets the misprint and is taking immediate action to remedy this. Meanwhile, the dolls are being pulled from stores including Target, Walmart, Amazon, Kohl's, and Best Buy.
I do not think this mishap is going to affect the box office in any way. This was a horrible human error. I don't think anyone is, thinking that someone at Mattel did this on purpose.
What would you do as a parent in this situation? Again, what would you do as a parent if you were in the situation? And I would start with you, Malia.
That's hard for me to, okay, what would I do if I was a parent? Well, first of all, I don't, it's hard for me to answer this because I don't know how old the child, I don't know what the demographic is for this movie. I don't know if 5-year-olds are watching this, 10-year, I don't know, but, I would just not let my child go on that website. I would just scribble it. I don't know. I would take the doll out the packaging. That way my kid didn't see it. I don't know. I don't know. That's hard to answer. I would just try to keep my child away from the website. That's the best thing I can do. Take the doll out of the box. Um, but yeah, I don't really know. That's a little tough. Yeah, just take the doll out of the box. That's the best thing I can think of right now. Hopefully, before my kid got a hand of saw the websites.
All right. Thank you, Malia. Kara?
I think this is a little bit of a difficult question because I also don't have children. And if I did have a child that was younger that had like an iPad or something that they could easily like look on the phone, I would be really upset about that. I would definitely try to take the box away from them and also contact Mattel already, just because I think that something like this is such a huge mishap. I mean, there's so many people that work for Mattel, and to be able to make a mistake like that is just completely uncalled for. So I would definitely try to keep my children away from that as much as I can, and also just inform other parents or family members if they do buy the doll to not look at the website and let them know what it's about.
All right. Thank you, Kara. And Angie?
Well, I also don't have kids, but I do have nieces and nephews, but I would be really hesitant to draw attention to it if they did still have the box. And I would maybe try to listen and hear how they're talking to other kids if they were talking about something like that. And and if it did come out that it seemed like they had gone to that website, I would try to maybe have a conversation about what they saw, or if they had any questions. I don't know. That's depending on the age too, right? But definitely, I think I already saw a class. Sorry. Sorry about that. I think I already saw a class action. So I imagine that there are kids who have seen this and it's affected them emotionally. So they have some reason to sue. And I also have a hard time believing that it was an accident for some, Mattel, that it got through all of that without anyone checking. I just have a hard time. As bad as it seems, I just have a hard time with that. But yeah, I think definitely alerting other parents or talking to other parents or, online communities, asking how they're dealing with it or what their kids have said about it maybe, and definitely letting Mattel know and maybe getting some form of redress. And I'm surprised that they haven't recalled it completely too.
Well, I mean, according to the video/article that I was reading, they were, I guess, taking the current ones off the shelves. So I guess they're temporarily off the shelves until probably they get new packaging. But what I will say, Angie, something you said that I felt bad thinking, but we had this similar thought. I kind of thought to myself, was this a mistake? And I felt bad for thinking it, but I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff out here. And I'm sorry, all of those people at Mattel, I mean, God knows what they're making. I mean, especially the people at the top, they're making millions and six-figure, I mean, literally the marketing department. Those are not little like minimum wage jobs. Not little, but you know what I mean? Those are not minimal jobs. So I just see it as when it's your career to do something, how could you not see that? I know human error happens, but Wicked, movie. All you had to do was add the movie and you were good to go. So I don't know. I just hope there wasn't anything facetious or weird going on here. So I have to agree with you on that one. I just had a hard time believing 100% that it was a mistake. So I enjoyed speaking with you ladies, and I look forward to meeting up again. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to join our next conversation.